Shalom. Kal Haloyamla, Yahapwa, Bahasham, Yahapushai, Bahasham, Brachak Kodash, Barakta Yahapwa, Barakta Yahapushai, Barakta Brachak Kodash, Bahasham, Yahapushai, Bahasham, Brachak Kodash. Shalom and double honors unto the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elders in the Akim and the Akwath, of the hopeful elect. Shalom. So I just want to go into a quick video entitled, Russia is preparing massive assault. And as we see here in the title of the article, I'll leave this link in the description. It says Z-Day approaches as Russia prepares massive assault wave against Ukraine and NATO. So I just came across this article and want to go ahead, and share it with the body. And Lord will, this video is edifying. So we just jump right into it. It says all signs point to a Russian offensive moving against Ukraine within the next 20 days. And so this is, in response to turn up, because of the report, I think a week or two ago, I made the video about, about America and Germany agreeing to send tanks to Ukraine after they argued about it, because the whole America didn't want to send tanks, but they wanted Germany to, because they want to bully, they want to just sit back and as they call, shot call, right, from a distance, and have their weaker allies go in and do the dirty work. But Germany was like, nope, they don't want to deal with Russia unless America getting their hands dirty as well, because they right on the borders of Russia, they right by Russia, right, and the whole over here in the West wants to just sit back and let everyone else, like pawns on their chessboard, kill each other, right? So now Russia this is their response, and this is just as we've prophesied. I did multiple videos about this World War III. It's only going to it's just going to intensify. It's just gradually going to lead up to the main event, like a pay-per-view fight card, right? The preliminary fights, and then the undercard fights, and then head to the main event, and that it's on the undercard right now, as far as Russia about to start fighting the horse NATO allies, which NATO and EU is the fourth beast revived, spoken of in Revelation chapter 13, when the beast was wounded to death and the deadly wound was healed through the NATO and the Treaty of Rome, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, aka NATO, is the beast revised, and the whore, America, sits on that beast steering it, and those 10 horns is the European Union, the original 10 nations that started the EU with the NATO, and now it's developed to a lot more countries, but the original 10, those 10 horns on the beast, is the EU and NATO formed with it as well. So now this is just everything coming to a head, and it's intensifying, and the whore is getting implicated more and more, and having to getting dragged into it. So it's coming. All signs pointing to this year, of it intensifying to all out, knockout, drag out World War III. So continuing to read, it says, within the next 20 days, this offensive will be much larger in size and equipment compared to the February 2022 offensive, exactly a year ago when it started with Ukraine and Russia. But it will move more slowly and methodically, avoiding blitzkrieg tactics, and instead relying on by the book military doctrine. Doctrine just means teaching, a military teaching, their game plan, their war blueprint. By the book military doctrine of a slow, steady, relentless pummeling of the enemy while gaining ground. So this is just showing you that it's going to be a knockout, drag out war, and it's not going to just, be over. They're not going to go straight to nukes. They're going to first, go ahead and have a slugfest, a methodical marathon like slugfest for a bit before they bring out those nukes. Let's see, continuing on. This offensive is being called Z-Day I'm not sure exactly what Z-Day mean. Maybe it's Zelensky Day, I guess. I don't know. But because the Ukrainian president is Volodymyr Zelensky, whatever, Z-Day, and will reportedly. So Russia's calling their offensive attack. This offensive is being called Z-Day and will reportedly involve over 700 aircraft, 1,800, 1,800 Russian tanks. That's a lot of tanks. I think America's only sending like what, 30? In total, they're sending like 80 tanks to help Ukraine. So Russia got 1,800 tanks and 500,000 soldiers, all designed to take down the Zelensky regime. So yeah, it's got to be Z-Day is Zelensky Day to take him down, right? To take back their Ukrainian territory that was of the former Soviet Union. That's all Russia doing, is trying to take back their own land. And I said last year that Russia will be successful if they're not, but if it's going to be, if America directly steps in, of course it's just going to be, nuke time pretty much. Although we know that's where it's going to lead to, but now it's interesting to see the key details. All designed to take down the Zelensky regime that has functioned as a proxy for NATO's attempts to eliminate Russia from the world map. Because as I've stated in other Russian videos I've made, that America the whore is just trying to subvert and overcome, trying to get around biblical prophecy, because the elites of this world know the biblical prophecy of Gog and Magog, which is Russia and his allies taking down America. The feet of the bear, the beast, is Russia, the bear, taking down the beast, which is NATO, EU, and the whore that steers that beast. And so after America took down the Soviet Union in the Cold War, those territories, it broke up into multiple different countries, like Belarus and what it starts with a C. I can't, Crimea and Ukraine. These different Russian, they still spoke Russian and all of that. That's Russian language because they are Russian territories, but they become a little bit independent. They became independent, right, as countries. Ukraine became an independent country. And so America, being the whore it is, tried to woo them to join the West and NATO. But Russia, they see what's going on, and then America's trying to continuously add more and more of Russian, close Russian, nearby Russian countries, countries that are bordering around Russia. The whore is just steadily trying to absorb more and more countries surrounding Russia, to absorb them into the West, NATO ally, right? And then eventually you try to take down Russia, because the whore, America, wants to try to overcome biblical prophecy and not get burnt with thermonuclear missiles. So, continuing on to the next, let's see, next paragraph. Importantly, with the recent revelation, that's an interesting word, revelation, right? Importantly, with the recent revelation that the Nord Stream pipelines were blown up by the USA, working with Norway, Russia is currently updating its retaliation rules to allow a first strike preventative attack using nuclear weapons to prevent NATO from further threatening Russia's existence. So now it's come out now that, we all knew, that's understand how America works, the whore works. They always throw a rock and hide their hand like they didn't do it, but they were behind that pipeline, that gas pipeline that went from Russia over to the Western Europe area, with Germany and other countries that relied upon that natural gas from Russia. And so now, it's a fact now. It's out, and now it's become official that the USA was working with Norway to blow up that pipeline. And that's always the whore instigating drama and conflict. They're steadily instigating Russia, steady poking the bear, literally, right? So, Russia, they get billed as the aggressors, but Russia is basically just trying to take back their territory, stop America from steadily encroaching on their land, steadily moving forward towards their front doorstep to try to take them out, right? And Russia, the Most High is rising that spirit up in Russia to go ahead and is fed up with it and is about to do something about it according to biblical prophecy, right? And we see the events starting to unfold more and more. So it said Russia is currently updating its retaliation. Okay, I read that. So have anything for that? Okay, we'll keep going. It says former U.S. Marine and UN Weapons Inspector Scott Ritter just called for the arrest and criminal prosecution of Victoria Nuland and Joe Biden for masterminding the plot to destroy the Nord Stream pipelines. So this former U.S. Marine and United Nations Weapons Inspector, his name's Scott Ritter, he called for the arrest of Joe Biden and Victoria Nuland. That's a big deal, you know. A man calling for the arrest of the president of the whore, America. You know, he's supposed to be the most powerful man on the planet, but a man's calling for his arrest, and to show you how corrupt and how degenerate they are already degenerates, but how decayed the whore has become, right? Used up old whore, right? It's just very they're getting sloppy, and everyone's getting tired of the whore and all of her terrible, treacherous ways, and backstabbing, disloyal ways. And so, continuing on, it says this act of terrorism carried out by the Pentagon, CIA, U.S. Navy, and State Department was also an act of war against Germany, a NATO ally. So they're saying that this is an act of terrorism and against their own allies. So the whore is to not be trusted because she's attacking her own people, right? Her own supposed to be friends and Confederate allies. It makes us wonder whether Germany will declare an Article 5 violation and demand that other NATO countries attack the USA for its act of war against Germany. So this is biblical prophecy, and this is key details proving how immaculately accurate and infinitely perfect the Most High's Holy Scriptures are and His prophecies. Because why? This is biblical prophecy. Germany, an ally of the whore, which is a part of the beast, the fourth beast. Germany is a part of the beast of NATO that's being steered by the whore. They're turning and getting angry with the whore, America, and getting tired and fed up with her steady dragging them into conflicts, into wars, and then she's now, inflicting damage upon them as well. Not only in their pocket, but, physically, and affecting their citizens with no, natural gas resources and eliminating that very important, vital resource that they was getting from Russia. And to the point where Germany is going to call for other NATO allies of the beast to attack the whore. The beast is about to turn on the whore and join up with Russia, and that's biblical prophecy. So reading on, it says, in any case, Russia is on the verge of launching both a major offensive against Ukraine and also potentially a preventative nuclear strike against the U.S. and NATO targets across Europe. It's not going to be potentially, it will. It's just impending, This nuclear strike is going to be what would be called a tactical nuke, because Russia don't want to. If Russia can't send the most powerful nukes it got along with its allies to destroy other areas in Europe, but little tactical nukes, as I went into in other videos about Russia, just to a minor nuke to strategically hit key pockets to discourage them from fight to surrender, right? So, but the beast is already seeing the writing on the wall and say, okay, we got to go ahead and the problem is the whore, and they're going to turn on her and join up with Gog and Magog, Russia, Persia, which is Iran today, and China and all their allies over there, and they're going to shoot at the whore to stop all this madness and instigating and drama. So we'll go ahead real quick and get Sirach, the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 14 and 5. It reads, "He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good?" So that is going into, them themselves, their own race, because this is all quote unquote white on white crime or Edomite on Edomite crime, but America is turning and destroying its own allies. So when you're allied, when you have a treaty, you're supposed to be one body going toward the same direction, right? You hurt your ally, you hurting yourself. So he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? So why are so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, the lost 12 tribes of Israel, why are the majority of our people depending and hoping that, America, so-called white man, give them anything beneficial to help them, right? They steadily depending upon and begging for their oppressor to help them. They're evil to themselves, so how are they going to help you when they're evil to their own self, right? It says, "He shall not take pleasure in his goods." So, he cannot have enough. He's death and hell. Habakkuk 2 and 5. Death and hell, the grave is always receiving, can never have enough, is always receiving new bodies, right? They have their goods through crime and deceit, and that's not enough. They got to keep going, just like they're trying to continuously take more territory and encroaching more and more upon Russia, right? So going to Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 7. "All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border." So that's the confederacy is NATO and the EU. Tired of the whore America. The men that So it says, "The men that were at peace with thee," that NATO alliance, "the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee." And because Germany, they're probably already in talks with other NATO allies. Say, "You see what she doing, man? She destroying us and dragging us into these wars, about to get us blown off the map by Russia, And they say, we're just gonna take her out and link up with Russia because they have the greater might and military, and they're closer to us. Let's just take out that whore over there in the West. It's much easier, right?" So it says, "The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee." But this is the biblical prophecy of the Most High. He's stirring all of these spirits, and it's flawlessly unfolding the way the Holy Scriptures that was written thousands of years ago had predicted now, right? The end predicted, the end manifested in the beginning. The Most High had this set from the very foundation of the earth. So the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. And they're going to win with Russia when they link up with Russia, NATO and EU. "They that eat thy bread," the economic, because the EU means it's an economic union for money, right? So that's they eating the bread with them. "They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him." And we know the Edomites, they have no understanding. They're all reservoir dogs, meaning they eat themselves. They kill and destroy themselves. Reservoir dogs. It's a movie called that, Reservoir Dogs. So that's what this is. This alliance is basically just reservoir dogs. Just there's no honor amongst thieves, right? Revelation 17 and 16. "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire." So these 10 horns, going into those original 10 of the economic alliance, the European Union and NATO. So that beast was resurrected through the NATO an EU alliance with the whore. And so they're hating the whore now. They all hate her, all the nations. And so the allies hate her too. So they're gonna declare to other NATO allies to go ahead, link up with Russia, take down the whore. And this is perfectly, seamlessly, and flawlessly coming to fruition from the prophecies of the Most High. So this is how you know this is the Almighty doing this. Most High say, before they spring forth, I tell you of them. So this is the Holy Scriptures. The Most High has told us about the prophecies from day one. Jeremiah 50:14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon, round about. That's America. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows. These are those thermonuclear missiles. For she hath sinned against the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. So, and that's why. That's all it's about, you know. That's what it's about. The blasphemy, profanity, and wickedness and sins against the Almighty and Yahweh Shai and his chosen apple of his eye, the Israelites, so-called Black Latinos, Native American Indians. So, flawless biblical prophecy, more key details being revealed, and we're getting more and more of an idea of, you know, of everything unfolding, and to accompany, give us that clearer picture from the prophecy. So, with that being said, I hope this video is edifying. The water to the Rachakudash Bahasham Yahushai for another video. To the next video, I say, Shalom.